Okay, I'm using my Bowdabra to make this bow, and I'm just going to roll out a piece. I'm using a 26 gauge floral wire for this, and I'm just going to roll out a piece. I'd say this is probably 28 inches long. I like to have plenty of wire just to make sure that I can get it around the wreath. Now I fold my wire over so that I have two ends at one side and a loop at the other. And I'm going to just take the wire, fold it over, and I'm just going to put it directly into the center of my Bowdabra. And then I'm just wrapping my wire up under my Bowdabra just to get it out of my way, just like that. Now I've already got my ribbon cut, and I've got my tails cut at 32 inches. And I did dovetail my ends, and to do that, you're just going to fold over the end of your ribbon just like this, fold it in half, and then I start at the corner and just go up towards the center, just like that, and that gives me that pretty little dovetail. So now I'm just going to put my ribbon directly into my Bowdabra and pull them at the bottom just to make sure that they're even, or somewhat even. They don't have to be perfect, but I just want them somewhat even. And I'm going to start by putting my ribbon, the side that's not pretty, facing up. This one has one side that's pretty and one side that's not. So when I put it down into the center of my Bowdabra, I'm going to twist it just a little so that the side that's not pretty is facing up, and I have about an inch on my right side. And I want that side that's not pretty facing up so that when I come over to make my loop, then the pretty side is showing. Now, because of having two different sides like that, I do have to twist on the side that I'm making the bow, the loop. I twist just like that so the side that's not pretty, again, is facing up so that when I come over to make my bow, I've got the pretty side. Now I just pull those up to the center just to make sure that they're even. You could measure these if you want to. These are about 6-inch loops. I don't take time to measure, but you certainly can if you want to. Now again, on my left side, I twist so that the side that's not pretty is facing up, come around to make my loop. And I'm just going to measure. These are all going to be the same size, so I just measure it to the one in front of it. Now, on my right side, I twist so that the side that's not pretty is facing up again. And then I'm just going to come around and measure that to the one in front of it. And you see I push down every time. Now I'm going to make one more loop. And then I ran out of that roll, so I'm going to add another one by just putting it down in the center. And I have my 1 inch again on my left side this time. And again, the side that's not pretty is facing up so that when I come over to make my loop, the pretty is showing. And I just keep doing this back and forth. And if you run out of ribbon and you've got more of the same, you can just add it just like I did. Then you just are going to start where you're at as if it was the beginning with 1 inch on whichever side you stopped the last loop. And now every time I'm just twisting and making a loop. Just like that, twist, and make my last loop. And this, I've got a 12 loop bow, so once I get all of my loops, I'm going to keep my finger in the center, just like that. I bring my wire out from underneath, and I put my thumb there to hold it. You don't want to let go of this center at all until you get this wire tightened. Now what I do is, all while it's still in the Bowdabra, I put the two ends through that loop that we made when we started. And then once you get that done, you can pull it out. I left one of my ends out, so there we go. And you just want to hold on to it while you're pulling your wire tight. Now I'm going to put it down on the table just like this, and I'm going to separate my two wires, pull them very tight, pull them around to the back, and just twist those all while holding it very tight so that none of those loops come out. Now I've got some leftover ribbon right here, so I'm going to just cut that off so that it looks a little neater. And now I've already twisted my wire, so I don't have to hold it as tightly, but I just wrap it right around my finger. We'll cut this off too, because we don't need that. Now I just wrap the wire around my finger just like this. I bring my tails forward, and then I'm just going to pull one loop one way, one loop another, and just keep doing this, pulling them around while I hold it on my hand with my finger wrapped around that wire. And just take your time. Once you've got it really secure, so you can actually put it on the table now, and you can pull those around. I just put my hand in the loop and spread my hand out to spread all those loops out. And take your time with this, just so that your bow is really big and pretty. And now we've got it ready so we can put it on our wreath.